Taken together, these two paintings, executed exactly 30 years apart, provide a remarkable survey bookending this story of American abstraction in the 20th century. Clyfford still, of course, was really a forerunner of American abstract expressionism, one of the first progenitors of the entire movement. And Brice Marden has spent the last 6 decades redefining traditional boundaries of minimalism, abstraction, expression. They are both monumental in scale and have a tremendously commanding presence when viewed firsthand. This season, we are deeply honoured and extremely excited to be offering 2 major masterpieces from the Baltimore Museum of Art, which are being de-accessioned, and we will be offering these in our Contemporary Art Evening Auction. The 2 works are Clyfford Still's 1957 G and Brice Marden's 3 from 1987 to 88. Of course, both Clyfford Still and Brice Marden are titans of American abstraction in their respective eras. They're both also artists who really stand apart from ready categorization. Clyfford Still developed an abstract vernacular before really any of his abstract expressionist contemporaries. He designed paintings for the viewer to become immersed in these monumental fields of colour, articulated meticulously with a palette knife so that they have an almost sculptural surface with tremendous texture. It changes as you move around them. With this painting, you're thrust into 9 by 7 feet of sheerly painted canvas, and you see these colliding massive painted forms, these huge craggy surfaces that are so reminiscent of nature. They're so reminiscent of some seismic event. We always talk about tectonic plates and these fissures that happen on this grand scale. When you're immersed in a painting like this, you really grasp Still's ambition to engender in the viewer feelings that are divorced from any figural reference point. From the early 1950s, Still completely eschewed any gallery representation, and in fact between 1952 and 1959 appeared only in a handful of group exhibitions. In 1959, there was a famous retrospective at the Albright Art Gallery that included 72 paintings, including this work, 1957 G, that had been specifically selected by Still himself. From the 1970s into the 1980s, of course, Marden was frequently described as a minimalist artist, working in solid planes of colour, multiple colour combinations coming together, but primarily paring down, reducing the content of the painting to a single plane of colour. Brice Marden's 3 of 1987 to 1988 really represents a breakthrough moment in the artist's output, the culmination of 3 decades worth of his career to that date, and of course it anticipates the Cold Mountain works that immediately followed it. You see a lifetime's worth of looking at artists like Franz Kline and de Kooning, but also ancient Chinese and Japanese calligraphy throughout. You see that brought together here with phenomenal economy of means in his beautifully nuanced textured brush stroke. Typically he was using a very long handled brush to divorce himself from too much control over the application of these strokes. And that's really the key with this painting. When you see it close, when you look at how nuanced the surface is, the texture, the tones, these beautifully modulated differences in colour really create a stunningly captivating canvas. Both of these works are extraordinarily important, and their appearance for sale represents an extremely rare moment with this exceptional provenance. They really are works of the highest quality.